Hello and thank you for listening to Getting Fit with Farmers, a series of podcasts interviewing farmers from around the southeast of South Australia on farming and fitness. I'm Kimberly Langley, a physiotherapist from Good Country Physio. Today I'm joined by David Brooker. Thanks for sitting down to chat with me. Tell us a bit about yourself. Where do you farm, how long you've been a farmer for, and what type of farm do you run?
David Brooker. I'm born and bred Lucindaleite. So obviously Lucindale's where our farming practice evolves. We originally were 20 miles north of Lucindale and then bought a farm in the 90s closer to town, or right in town at one side and one the other, so central to go past the pub of an evening, which is pretty handy. Basically stuck with sheep, have had cattle in the past, and in this time the cattle market's a bit high to buy at the moment, but want to get back into a handful of cattle over the summer, so that's where we hang out.
Nice. Now, you're a green, yellow or red man, so for those listening that don't know what that means, John Deere, New Holland or Case?
No, we've stuck with the John Deere.
Good answer.
Yeah, they seem to, the resale value, we've seen to, every time we've bought a John Deere, we've seen to go on and trade it in for the same amount of money we bought it. Yeah. But that's all smoke and mirrors to a good accountant, isn't it? But anyway, they do bring good returns, sales, value.
Yeah. What's your favourite thing about being a farmer?
Oh, the independence, I suppose. If I stuff up, it's my fault.
Yeah.
If I make good decisions, I get the pat on the back, I suppose. So, probably been a shearer most of my life and farmed on weekends, and in the last 10 years I've probably stopped shearing full time and settled into the full time farming mode. So and probably miss the camaraderie in the shearing sheds. Like with you out there with 10 or 15 people in those big sheds. It's good fun when you're on your own on a farm. It's pretty lonely when you're on your own. So in the last few years I've sort of snuck a workman in, or a part-time workman. So when we are busy, I've got someone to do stuff with, because you've got to motivate yourself when you're on your own. And once you've been in a shearing shed, motivation was always the tally book and the other shearers in the shed. So for me, it's to work on my own, I've sort of got to kick myself in the bum and get myself moving. So
self-motivation. And I guess it's good you got your farms between the pubs, so if you
always
do want to stop in and have a chat, you've got the perfect
watering hole on the way home, or when you're doing a water run.
Yeah. So I guess your career has changed a little bit, going from mainly shearing to more on the farm stuff. So now, what's the most physically demanding part of your job, and what do you sort of do to prepare yourself to be able to do that?
Yeah, look, when you're shearing, you were fit, and you could always come home and crutch some sheep after work or on the weekend, or shear some sheep, and it didn't affect you. Once you stop shearing, to go back and do that full day's 8 hours work with the sheep, the big size of the sheep these days, that's pretty demanding. So we sort of call it what's our word now? Gentleman hours. So instead of starting that religiously 7:30 and finishing at 5:30, like I've done for 35 years of my life, we sort of might be an 8 o'clock start with an 8:30 pull in the gear, and 4:30 looks pretty good for the beer fridge. So we unless there's something important, we've got to get that mob out. But we do work the gentleman hours these days. At our own pace. Yep.
What's the best farming invention of all time, in your opinion? Anything major?
Oh, look, obviously the hydraulic wool press has been a big one. I remember as a kid, we'd have to stomp the old Ajax and then put the pins in and pull them out. Now, just having a hydraulic wool pressing a bale of wool to 195 kilos is in my situation, is pretty convenient and easy. In about 8 minutes, you can have a bale pressed out if you've got all the wool there, in 8 or 10 minutes. So that's just a simple, quick. Hydraulics on anything, front end loaders, all that stuff's got to be for me. I'm not a techno whiz, so I don't really rely on much of that technology except for the basics, but hydraulics has been a good one for me.
I guess that takes the physicality out of jumping on the bales. Very good. What's your favourite stretch or exercise you like to do before, during, or at the end of the day? If you did do something.
Yeah. When I was shearing, I did used to like to lay on the board, on the shearing board on my belly and stretch backwards. That was really good because obviously when you're shearing and crutching, you always bend over like a half-open pocket knife.
Yeah.
And you bend backwards, and that did really give me a lot of relief. So, and then obviously just with your legs up against the wall, and just let your body rest at the lunchtime break.
Yeah, and like you were saying,
I still do that now.
Yeah, shearing's a physical job, so it's kind of like you kind of need to sort of do that to be able to do your job well.
You do, yeah. Reverse. Look, back aid. I used the back aid for the last 15 years, probably, or 10 years of my shearing career. So they probably kept me in the game for for those years. So that's another little asset of someone developed and got the majority of the shearers I work with. Back aids have probably kept them in the game.
Yeah, and kept them being able to be physical in that sense.
And I think a quote from one of my old shearing partners, Jack Langberg, he always says, before the back aid, you'd drop me off at the gate and I'd crawl under the gate to go to the front door. He said when I jumped in the back aid, I'd jump straight over the gate and run to the back door. So that's kept him in the game for a lot of years too, old Jack. So I guess working smarter, not harder in a sense. As long as you use it sensibly, you don't you don't take all the weight off your body. It just takes that little bit of weight off your body. So you've got to set it up properly.
Still is a physical job, so it's not like it's just going to make it so much easier that you're not doing anything. It's just allowing you to be able to continue that. Yeah.
Just taking that little bit of pressure off your core, I suppose, and hips.
Yeah. And like you said, even now, out of that shearing sort of period, you're now sort of even doing some stretches every now and then just to sort of keep mobile.
And we've got a community pool at Lucindale here.
Yeah.
And I've been going to them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings, and that does, after 3 or 4 weeks, that does help you get through a day's physical work. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So, what part of that swimming do you feel helps? Like, is it getting to the end of the day not being as tired, or is it mobility, or just general fitness?
You just feel fitter.
Yeah.
You do feel looser and fitter.
Yeah.
Just in your whole your core of your body. So I don't mainly do breaststroke and a bit of freestyle, but I just feel that 30-40 minutes in the pool does loosen me up a bit for a day's work in this. Whether it's lifting, land marking or crutching, I do all my own crutching, have done most of my career. So when you've got 6,000 or 8,000 sheep to crutch it, you got to sort of do 500 or 600 a day to get them done in a couple of weeks. So
what is your favourite farming joke, quote, or saying? One to think about.
One to think about. I think I do always say, when we've got kids out the farm or I drop a swear word, I always call it paddock talk, So that's always a good one around when the nieces and nephews are around it and I'm swearing, like, you're allowed to have a bit of paddock talk. When you're working with sheep, you need that, I think. A bit of paddock talk, so that's when you drop the old swear word.
Yeah, very nice. And I guess you sort of touched on this just before talking about swimming, but like, how important is being fit in regards to the success of your business, your overall health and your mental well-being? Oh,
for sure. I guess, when you're land marking, for us, it's land marking and the shearing. And the shearing is, or the pre-shearing crutch, which you do twice a year, probably pre-lamb crutch and pre-shearing crutch. I do it myself. Some people say you're not saving money because you're there for a lot longer, but because I do it myself in my own time frame, we think we're saving an extra man because you're jumping in and helping out.
Yeah. So financially, it's a benefit of the business too.
I think it is. Because we're not big scale. In a bigger scale, there's obviously. You get contractors and they do the physical work and you just deliver the sheep and take them away. But for me, it's I'm always hands on. So I'm in with, and if you've got to swap a pen of lambs when someone's marking lambs and you've got someone employed to do that, you'll swap and they'll do the ear tags and something else, and you jump in there and have your little bit of a go. So to prove that you can still do it properly. Yeah,
and I guess like you sort of said, like if you go into the pool, like I'm assuming there's a few others there by the time you're there. So that social interaction too, like you're saying, if you're on the farm sort of by yourself, you've got that morning, you interact with a few, and then you might be on the farm by yourself for the day. So that's probably also like a nice, say good day, get you swimming, and then off to the farm.
Yeah, no, that's there's about 8 or 10 regulars there, and you always got the morning. Well, what's up? What are you up to today? Do you hear about this market or whatever? So it is a good little get together.
And I guess that leads into who's the fittest farmer that you know.
Yeah, well there you go. I don't see a lot of the Snodgrasses, Brett Snodgrass avenue there, but Brett with his cycling and marathon running, I think he tries to keep up with his son. He's pretty athletic, so I think Brett would probably be the fittest one that I know of.
Yep. So then, sort of going on the opposite side, how would you do your job if you were physically injured or disabled?
Well, I'm a pretty good talker because I teach kids how to shear, and that's all about, and with shearing and crutching, it's you've got to talk them through the operation. So I'm a pretty good talker. So I imagine you just sit back and talk the people through the through the jobs, and you'd be the eyes and the ears, and let the other people do the physical part of it, I suppose. And
then I guess, like you're sort of saying, you'd probably have to employ someone else to sort of do that physical. You'd
have to employ someone to do that job. So
what do you think you should do to help your body farming into the future? So you're doing a bit of exercise at the minute, but how do you sort of fit that into your day throughout the year? Does it change for you certain months compared to other months, or?
I probably should go to the gym, but I think that my farm work equates to 30-40 minutes in the gym, which it probably doesn't, but that's at the moment. I do know if I don't do any physical work on the farm for a couple of weeks, I do get stiff and slow up a bit. So I've just got to jump on the bike and do that. I know Steph and I, when we go to Adelaide, we love to walk the beach where our house is up there, and that I do love walking. Steph loves walking, my wife. So I think I've just got to push myself to do a little bit more. Do a bit more, because I do know a few years ago I went back shearing for a few months, and I did go to the gym twice a week, and it helped it hugely.
So almost having that
semi-fit before I went out and tried to break myself in.
Like you're saying, like you've got to have that level of fitness baseline to then be able to manage your daily load, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Whereas if you'd sort of come off with nothing, might have been a little bit.
It hurts.
And
I can handle pain, because as a shearer you handle a bit of pain, but the pain threshold's a bit lower than it was 10 years ago, that's for sure.
Sounds very good. Thanks very much for joining me today, David. I really appreciate having the opportunity to sit down and have a chat with you. Hopefully farmers out there can relate to some of the things you've said, or it's given some food for thought. Thank you to all those who have listened to Getting Fit with Farmers. Tune in next time to hear me speak to the next local farmer. Feel free to visit our website at www.goodcountryphysio.com for more information. Until then, keep well, keep moving, and here's hoping all of those farmers out there have a successful year.